Martha Dark, the founder and co-executive director of Foxglove, a UK-based non-profit organization that has backed the court case, said, "The evidence is indisputable. Moderating Facebook is dangerous work that inflicts lifelong PTSD on almost everyone who moderates it." That sentence is harrowing. On nearly everyone. Everyone. That's so f***ed up. And I have, like, no idea how to even process the kind of they go through to do this. If you're wondering sometimes if you happen to be a YouTuber like myself and you make videos and you know that if you make videos on YouTube, if you're in the political sphere, the majority of them probably get demonetized. Mind you, frequently demonetized. And so when they get demonetized, there's the option to have a human review it to make sure that the AI didn't accidentally flag your video for being inappropriate. And your videos can be flagged for a variety of reasons. I've had videos flagged specifically because I have the word like lesbian in them. Like, it's just pretty wild how quickly the AI will detect words they don't want you to have ad revenue on. But when you click on that, a human does have to review your content. Now, you might not think about who the human is behind the computer, but you do have to hire vast amounts of people to be able to, you know, basically comb through hours and hours and hours of internet data for all of these big tech companies. And unfortunately, it does come at a very high cost. There are lots of people who have had to do this for a job in countries like Kenya, for example, in some of these, you know, big tech, basically review farms who have reported previously that working for YouTube, they've had to look at such horrifying stuff because people upload very terrible things onto the internet. And so if all of a sudden they've uploaded something and their video was deleted and they then hit appeal and then it has to go through the process of a human reviewing it, there is a human on the other end that you don't think about who's then going to be going through that entire thing. More than 140 Facebook content moderators have been diagnosed with severe post-traumatic stress disorder caused by exposure to graphic social media content, including murder, suicide, child sexual abuse, and terrorism. The moderators worked 8 to 10-hour days at a facility in Kenya for a company contacted by the social media firm and were found to have PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, and major depressive disorder by Dr. Ian Kanyanya, the head of the mental health services at the Kenyatta National Hospital in Nairobi. The mass diagnoses have been made part of a lawsuit being brought against Facebook's parent company, Meta, and an outsourcing company that carried out the content moderation for Meta using workers from across Africa. The images and videos include a whole bunch of horrifying things, all the worst things in the world. The case is shedding light on the human cost of the boom in social media use in recent years that required more and more moderation, often in some of the poorest parts of the world, to protect users from the worst material that some people post. At least 40 of the moderators in the case were misusing alcohol, drugs, including cannabis, cocaine, and amphetamines, and medications such as sleeping pills. Some reported marriage breakdowns and the collapse of desire for sexual intimacy and losing connection with their families. Some, whose job was to remove videos uploaded by terrorists and rebel groups, were afraid that they were being watched and targeted, and that if they returned home, they would be hunted and killed. Facebook and other large social media and artificial intelligence companies rely on armies of content moderators to remove posts that breach their community standards and to train AI systems to do the same. The moderators from Kenya and other African countries were tasked from 2019 to 2023 with checking posts emanating from Africa and in their own languages, but were paid 8 times less than their counterparts in the US, according to the claimed documents. Medical reports filed with the Employment and Labor Relations Court in Nairobi were seen by The Guardian paint a horrific picture of working life inside Meta-contracted facilities, where workers were fed a constant stream of images to check in a cold warehouse-like space, under bright lights, with their working activity monitored to the minute. Almost 190 moderators are bringing the multi-pronged claim that includes allegations of intentional infliction of mental harm, unfair employment practices, human trafficking, modern slavery, and unlawful redundancy. 144 examined by the Kenyanya were found to have PTSD, GAD, MDD with severe, extremely severe PTSD symptoms in 81% of the cases, mostly at least a year after they had left. Meta and Samasource declined to comment on the claims because of the litigation. Martha Dark, the founder and co-executive director of Foxglove, a UK-based non-profit organization that has backed the court case, said, "The evidence is indisputable. Moderating Facebook is dangerous work that inflicts lifelong PTSD on almost everyone who moderates it." That sentence is harrowing. On nearly everyone. Everyone. That's so fucked up. And I have, like, no idea how to even process the kind of shit that they go through to do this, because, like, I can just tell you over the course of the last year, and I've been very open about this, that in pursuant of looking up news to find headlines and going through Twitter sometimes, because Twitter has just become such a cesspool of horrifying content, I have seen so much death, in large part due to the genocide of Palestinians by Israel and all the war crimes committed by Israel and all the horrifying actions that the Israeli government and the IDF keep doing towards Palestinians. I've had to see a lot of it firsthand, and it's not something that I ever look up. I'm not a person who, like, you know, when the internet was first becoming a thing, was one of the people really excited to be like, oh, have you checked out this like website that can let you see gore? Oh, blah blah. I was like, no, why would I want to see that? I have no interest in that. No, thank you. But like now, having seen so much of it, and then just seeing the toll it takes on you, and feeling the toll that it takes on you, and knowing like how much it really fucks with your brain, and that's just a little teeny sliver of what someone who has to work 8 to 10 hours a day doing this. And this isn't even like, you know, because they're trying to look up what is happening around the world. This is because this is their job. They're going into these huge warehouses where they're put under very bright lights, and I assume the very bright lights are to keep everyone awake, which is also very dystopian, where they have to just watch hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of Facebook footage, Facebook posts, Facebook videos, to see whether or not the videos in question are in fact violating their terms of service. And this is a reality for having tech companies of this size who are outsourcing this work to poorer nations who will pay them 8 times less than what they would be getting in America for doing the exact same job. It's again, it's very grotesque. It's not things that are often talked about when you hear about big tech and the fucked up things that they do, let alone the fact that, like, for the love of God, please take care of these people. Make sure that they have proper medical attention. Give them every extended medical benefit possible. I hope this lawsuit is successful. I hope it sets some form of standardization, but also I hope more people make noise about it, because the more people who know about it, the less likely it is for Facebook to just sweep this whole thing under the rug, or for Mark Zuckerberg to pretend like it's not a real issue, or for them to just continue doing what they're doing without properly and adequately compensating the very people who make a lot of the websites that we frequent possible. And this isn't just Facebook. Every single big one that you use, I'm sorry, but like TikTok is fun. It has beautiful and fun creative cat videos and dog videos, and I know how cute and new it can be. The exact same thing is happening there. It's happening on any single social media platform that's been scaled up to such a size that they basically have to start depending on a combination of AI to, you know, do the auto flagging and do the auto scanning of content, but then eventually humans on the other end, when you're like, because you do get false flags. I've been falsely attacked. My Instagram is permanently gone. I was falsely accused on that account of posting content that I wasn't, because baddies were trying to take my shit down. They won. You know, they eventually took my Instagram channel down. I've had 2 YouTube channels falsely struck, taken down. Luckily, I got them back. But, you know, at a certain point, it does benefit a content creator to have a human who can look at it and be like, oh, no, that's not what this is. Yeah, you have been falsely accused of something you didn't do. But, I mean, they're being tortured. They're being tortured in the process. I'd say at the very least, even a starting point would be to make noise about it, make people who don't know, and then do everything in terms of advocacy to get the workers in Kenya to be able to be properly compensated. They shouldn't be making 8 times less than you make here. They shouldn't be worried about you know, paying medical bills, not having access to proper doctors, when the majority, the overwhelming majority of them, are experiencing severe PTSD from just being consistently exposed to all the worst things in humanity. You know, everything from child abuse to bestiality to you know, murder, genocide, all that. Like every single bad thing you can think of, they're having to look at consistently, because they're looking at the worst of the worst, right? They're looking at the stuff that has been flagged to be banned off the website, and then they have to determine whether or not that was a false flagging or whether or not it's real. Moderation and the related task of taking content are often hidden behind parts of the tech boom. Similarly, but less traumatizing, arrangements are made for outsourced workers to take masses of images of mundane things such as street furniture, living rooms, and road scenes, so AI systems designed in California know what they're looking at. Meta said it took the support of content reviewers seriously, contacted with third-party moderators and the content of Facebook and Instagram, detailed expectations about counseling, training, round-the-clock on-site support, and access to private healthcare. Meta said pay was above industry standards in the market where they operated. That's always the argument, by the way. I hear this time and time again, especially from fucking pro-capitalist neoliberals, when I talk about how outsourcing effectively exploits people in other countries. They're like, yeah, but by the standards of those countries, they're getting paid better than they would be to have just an everyday job. And so what's your argument there? Do you think that these companies shouldn't operate in other parts of the world, and they shouldn't, pay them above minimum wage by their standards, even if it works out to a couple dollars a day here? Over there, it's a lot more money. They have a higher quality of life. They are job creators. They are literally raising people from economic disparity into a situation. It's like, I would think if you have a job, and part of your job is that, like, everyone has an element of their job that is going to affect them negatively in some way, right? If you are a driver, being sedentary while sitting down as a truck driver for prolonged periods of time while sunshine is blaring on you, can have negative health consequences. If you are a manual laborer, or if you're someone who works in moving furniture and stuff, it can have a lot of effects on your knees and your physical ability to do stuff. If you are a psychologist or a psychiatrist, you can have a lot of mental toll and mental health problems from listening to other people's trauma all day. And so a lot of psychiatrists and counselors, I have to go see psychiatrists and counselors, because again, if you sit there for 8 hours a day listening to people tell you about the worst things that have ever happened to them, it's also going to have an effect on you if you have empathy, right? Like, you'd have to be a complete sociopath to listen to someone for 8 hours talk about their own sexual abuse or physical abuse and not feel something. And so all these people can have tolls as a result of the work that they do. And in this case, if you have to look at hours and hours and hours of the worst possible content known to man, that it is having a profoundly negative effect on people. So that means that you have to provide for people who are going to be doing these jobs, and honestly start working towards alternatives. Like, hey, is there better AI systems we can use that can pre-screen all content for someone who's looking at it to, say, blur out things like human the guts and the sexual assault or stuff? Like, is there more advanced tech that we can use to make this job less traumatizing for everyone who has to undergo it? And the Senate passed the Pentagon spending bill. The U.S. Senate has voted 85-14 to pass the nearly $1 trillion National Defense Authorization Act, legislation which ignited a debate about providing gender-affirming care to trans children of military service members. Because, of course, right? What the fuck? But sure. Yeah, let's throw that in there. America's just doing all kinds of strange things right now. I don't know if you saw that apparently there is some good news, America. The Democrats are fighting for you right now. I got the Klob, Amy Klobuchar, has passed legislation. Very, very excited about this. Amy, my bipartisan legislation to recognize the bald eagle as our national bird just passed Congress and is now headed to the president's desk to be signed into law. So, getting results for you, Americans. Congratulations on that. That is exciting. Exciting times. Chuck Schumer has an announcement today. Look at this. Today, I'm taking to the Senate floor with Senator Gary Peters to pass legislation to respond to the reports of drone activity. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Fuck healthcare. They're going to respond to the reports of drone activity in the United States. It will authorize local authorities to conduct drone detection and help them better coordinate with federal law enforcement. America deserves answers. America deserves answers, y'all, and you're gonna get them. The drones are being handled. What drones, you say? Well, it's shiny keys. I bet you already drink coffee and love coffee, but you're probably worried if your coffee has blood in it. Not literal blood, but conflict zone blood. Did you want to buy coffee that is not only going to be delicious, it's going to arrive right on your door, it helps a little bit fund the serfs, and also it's end-to-end indigenous owned. That's why I partnered with Solstice Coffee, and hey, if you order by going to serfscoffee.com, they even include a free sticker, which is pretty awesome. So there's really no reason to actually not replace the coffee you already drink with delicious ethical coffee. That's why you should check out serfscoffee.com.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/theserfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Travis McClinton, Trincel, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.